Alright, one thing I was going to talk about, the first thing and probably on my video is that why should you watch One Piece? This is one thing I've talked to people about, and it's a big thing for a lot of people to discuss. Many different problems people have had with the art and the length and everything, and Sawyer7H did a good review on this. I kind of wanted to add to it, as well as what my own opinion on it is. There's a lot of things like the adventure element. A lot of times the world is always expanding, it's always a lot bigger. People don't see it. There's always new worlds, new islands to conquer, to see, to explore. But also there's new people to meet. A lot of people and the funny thing is, the little people that you meet in the very beginning, you come back and, like Kobe, the very beginning, most people think Kobe is a weakling and people don't even see what he's capable of. You'll see how strong he becomes later on. And then you have people like Shanks, who starts off strong, and he's very much, you see him later on, he's still strong, he's still a formidable person. There's a lot of also smaller elements people don't realize, like Blackbeard. People don't realize how big Blackbeard really is until you see later on that he's a big part of the plot. One of the main things that I love about One Piece is the story of Luffy. Luffy has a very strong backstory. Like, he's very, as a character, he's a lot better. I've watched Naruto and I've watched Bleach and a lot of other different things, and why Luffy stands out is because he's a different kind of leader than most people. When you watch Naruto's more of, he'll do whatever it takes up to a certain point. He won't challenge a government, he won't challenge certain people, and, when it comes down to, like, Naruto, for example, at the end of Naruto, spoiler alert, it took Naruto to give Sasuke just beat him up. That's all it took. And he could have done that on the water when he was about to kill Kakashi, but he didn't do it. Luffy, when he had a problem with Usopp, he just kicked his tail, told him, "Hey, listen, I could have done that at any time," and he let him go. And Usopp respected him for it. So Luffy's a better leader than Naruto in that sense, and also he's a better leader than Ichigo. Ichigo's kind of like a softie when it comes down to a lot of different things. He has the power to do whatever he wants. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes down to his biggest enemy is himself, not Aizen, not anybody else. And that was very evident when Aizen just talked him out of a fight. He basically said, "How am I your enemy? What makes you hate me?" That was really just shut Ichigo down, and he's like, "Okay, I don't know what to do here." Luffy's pretty much, if you've hurt somebody, that makes him your enemy, no matter what. He's pretty much doesn't beat around the bush on that. It's very understandable. Also, it's important how he leads the Straw Hats. Every single person on the Straw Hats crew respects him for a different reason. Nami respects him because she actually took care of him. He actually took care of her at a point where she felt very insecure in her life. She didn't know who to talk to, who to deal with the situation. She tried to deal with it herself, and she failed. And Luffy stepped in, took care of it like a boss. Zoro respects him because Zoro respects him for being a better man than he is. When he puts his mind to something, he does it. Zoro is one of those people that he's a man that respects that kind of thing. And Zoro's a typical, like, alpha male mentality, where he's like, if a person has that kind of leadership, you're going to automatically respect them. And that's one thing I like about Sanji. Is one of those people that the reason why Sanji respects Luffy so much is because Sanji sees Luffy as a person that Sanji had a foolish, quote unquote, he had a foolish dream. And so Luffy kind of looks at him and says, he looks at Luffy and says, "Okay, I don't feel so bad. This is a person that has that kind of a foolish dream, and I want to follow that, and I want to help him on his journey." But also, Sanji actually felt a need. He felt actually a part of need. And also, you have people like Chopper. Chopper's one of those people that Chopper felt like he was accepted. Naruto, most people watch Naruto because they love the acceptance part of it. You hear that from Forever World, you hear that from Double 4 Anime, you hear that from a lot of different people on the YouTube community, that they say they watched it because it has a lot of acceptance values to it. And one thing is Chopper brings to the table is that Chopper has that problem with acceptance, and Luffy just accepts him no matter what he is or who he was or whatever happened in the past. That was one thing, and Chopper saw the Doctor in Luffy just like Sanji saw his teacher, his mentor in Luffy as well. Zoro kind of saw that with Following a Dream, as well as Nami. Nami saw the kindness and the good spirit from Bellemere in Luffy. That's why she follows Luffy. That's why everybody else does. Chopper, that's one good thing about Chopper, that most people don't see that. And Chopper does have that acceptance issue, and Luffy just accepted him on the crew no matter what Chopper thought of himself or what everybody else thought of him. One of the bigger aspects is Usopp. Usopp is an interesting character. I wouldn't say he's the best character in anime, but he's definitely one of the more interesting ones. Most of the times when you first watch One Piece or read One Piece, you think Usopp's kind of a liar. And he is a liar. He fabricates a lot of stuff, but Usopp doesn't. Usopp's having the entire time through the entire series, he's trying to understand himself. And he's having a hard time doing that because he feels like he's weak. He feels like he's insecure of a lot of different things, so he fabricates things to improve himself. So Luffy sees him as a brother. He sees him as a person that Luffy can see that he can improve. And Usopp sees that and says, okay, this is kind of a brother to me, just like, Shanks had Yasopp on his crew, so they kind of helped each other out. That's what I liked about Usopp, and later on as you see the series produce, Usopp gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And if you notice some of the lines that he says to the girl at the very beginning, he actually does later on. It's kind of interesting, and it's very, very cool. Like, in Usopp, by the end, he has one of the most... Sawyer Seven Mage made a good statement. He says, anytime that Luffy's dream is on the line, Usopp stands up, and he stands up strong for it. That's what I appreciate about him. He's very much a strong standpoint. You'll see that in Crocodile when the person he was fighting at the time was mocking Luffy and saying he was dead. Usopp lost it and made that epic speech and then kicked her tail. And then you saw the one time where later on in Dressrosa he did something that was completely amazing. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but he did something completely amazing and you never expected from him. A lot of people don't expect that. Robin, the next one, is one of my favorite female characters in anime entirely, because she has a dark past. She has a story that's really sad. She's very, very sad about, and guaranteed you will watch it and you're like, that's pretty dark, pretty sad about it. And the way it's shown through Enies Lobby and how it's shown how bad she gets beat up and how badly she's treated shows that when Luffy comes up and cares about her no matter what she was or who she was or what has happened in the past, or he doesn't care who her enemies are. That's what's important. A lot of people don't realize that about Luffy, and that's why Robin, later on when the Straw Hats are split up, Robin is the last one to be taken, and Robin almost cries out to Luffy like, she's almost crying because she has to leave Luffy. It's one of the saddest things just to see Robin have that happen to her life. So that's one thing I liked about the whole series for Robin versus everybody else. And Robin also has a kind of a dark sense of humor, which I kind of appreciate. Also, you have Frankie. Frankie's one of the most intelligent people in the group. He's definitely the brain of the operation. He does do things. He does do things that are kind of stupid sometimes, but he does things that are very much. You'll notice that he's thinking ahead of the group and having to take care of the ship, having to take care of a lot of different things. And he also cries about things and is emotional about things that actually matter, that actually people should be crying about. Like Frey. When he meets Brook and it's like, wow, this guy's a manly man. You hear about Bartholomew Kuma, he was like, wow, he has complete respect for that. And it's really, a lot of people overwrite Frankie, especially with Senior Pink. The latest episode, man, that got the tear box, you better get yourself a good tissue box for that, because it really tore some people up. As well as Brook. Brook is one of the saddest characters in anime, because he also has he has just a very, very lonely past. It reminds me of the game called Lost Odyssey, where immortality is not always the best thing. It's not always a good thing. You outlive a lot of your best friends, a lot of your people that you care about. That's sad. It's very, very sad. And as I say, as you go on and you go on through the whole series, everything gets better and better and better and better. If you're wondering if you should watch One Piece, sit down and watch The Tears of the Navigator. Go on YouTube, look up the One Piece, The Tears of the Navigator. Watch that. If you don't like it, don't watch One Piece. If you like it, start off and go zoom through the Tears of the Navigator. You don't have to watch all. Zoom through those episodes out until after Arlong is beaten, and then you'll go on. It's great. It's a great series. The manga is better than the anime, because of the pacing issues. There's not a lot of filler in One Piece, but there's pacing, and the pacing is very slow. And I will tell you this much: the villains you kind of respect, they come back and they become good, and they're very much like that. And one of my favorite characters is Crocodile. Crocodile is one of the most interesting, most mysterious people in the One Piece series. Definitely need to watch it. I mean, definitely, Crocodile's one of the better characters. Especially if you go all the way up to Marineford, and once you're done with Marineford and you say One Piece is boring, there's something wrong with you. So definitely, and if you don't appreciate it, I completely understand. There's not something. When I say there's something wrong with you, I don't want you to think that there's something. You're an idiot or something like that. I just, everybody has their own different opinions. A lot of people think Bleach is a better series. Like, you read James Hansen and Tekken 101, they have a very good opinion. They can back it up. It's very, very cool. That's what I follow Tekken 101 on that. He can write, and I'm gonna tell you this, just as a side note, he makes you like Ichigo. Believe it or not, he makes a good discussion. Watch his Ichigo discussion; it's very interesting. But definitely watch One Piece. It's a very good series. If you have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to put them underneath the video, as well as don't like and subscribe. If you have any questions about it, hit me up, comment, and I'll do what I can to reply back. Thank you. You have a wonderful day. Bye.